Thank you, Alice, so much for the kind introduction and for your friendship. We are at a moment of reckoning in America and a moment of transformation. This is a time to be bold and ambitious, to challenge the way things have been done in the past. No one understands that better than my friend Alice Walton. Over the years, we've worked together to diversify art museum leadership. Alice has generously supported the Art for Justice Fund, a partnership of the Ford Foundation and Agnes Gund to change the narrative around mass incarceration and support local efforts to reform our broken criminal justice system. It has been a privilege to co-chair this summit with her. I was fortunate to be part of the first State of the Art Summit back in 2014. At that time, I called Crystal Bridges an enormously disruptive idea, one that was creating a new paradigm for how we think about art, arts patronage, and how people on the coast see places like Bentonville, Arkansas. All of that is even truer today. The period we're living through feels like 1918, 1932, and 1968 all rolled into one, a global epidemic, a Great Depression, and a civil rights crisis, exacerbating the other. Our democracy hangs in the balance. And if you care about our democracy, you've got to care about the arts. State of the Art 2020 calls on us to recognize that supporting the arts means more than just visiting a museum or buying a painting. Exhibitions like this one underscore the conversation these artists are inviting us to join and asking us to bring everything we have to listen, learn, and respond. I believe part of that response has to be a renewed commitment to equity. So much of American art comes from marginalized communities, including Black and Brown communities. We must love those communities and fight for their equality just as much as we love their art. We must heed their call for transformation. It's the only way we will become the more equitable, creative, empathetic, just world Alice described. I fell in love with art through my grandmother, a domestic who would bring coloring books from the Houston home of the family she worked for to the small town in Texas where I lived. But I had to wait for my exposure to art like so many others. That's why I love that Crystal Bridges and The Momentary are free to the public and that this exhibition is available online. No matter if you're in a small town in Texas or on the Upper East Side in New York City. That's why I encourage you to share what you've learned today with others. Expand the conversation and take action. That's an important part of being a better patron of the arts. And now, back to my friend, Kerry Washington. And by the way, Kerry, congrats on your Emmy. Kerry is dedicated to supporting our democracy by ensuring that all Americans, particularly those who have been historically underrepresented, are empowered to affect change in their community. Over to you, Kerry.